Hi, seventh graders. I wanted to record Home of the Brave for you all so that you can listen to it if you do not want to read by yourself. So I am going to record it in some little bits and put them all together. So hopefully that works for everyone. I'm starting on part 1. And the little proverb says, when elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. And then I'm going to be reading Chapter 1, Snow. Okay, snow. When the flying boat returns to earth at last, I open my eyes and gaze out the round window. What is all the white, I whisper. Where is all the world? The helping man greets me, and there are many lines and questions and pieces of paper. At last, I follow him outside. We call that snow, he says. Isn't it beautiful? Do you like the cold? I want to say, no, this cold is like claws on my skin. I look around me. Dead grass pokes through the unkind blanket of white. Everywhere the snow sparkles with light, hard as high sun. I close my eyes. I try out my new English words. How can you live in this place called America? It burns your eyes. The man gives me a fat shirt and soft things like hands. Coat, he says. Gloves. He smiles. You'll get used to it, Keck. I am a tall boy, like all of my people. My arms stick out of the coat like lonely trees. My fingers cannot make the gloves work. I shake my head. I say, this America is hard work. His laughter makes little clouds. So we have our main character, Keck. He is obviously not from America. He calls a plane a flying boat. And he comes to America. There's this guy that's helping him. He sees snow for the first time, and he gets introduced to a coat and gloves for the first time. And he's like, wow, this America place is very strange. All right, so now we're on page 6, Old Words, New Words. The helping man is called Dave. He tells me he's from the Refugee Resettlement Center, but I don't know what those words are trying to say. He isn't tall, like my father was, and there is hair on his face, the color of clouds before rain. His car is red and coughs and burps when he tries to make it go. Doesn't much like the cold either, he says. I smile to say I understand, although I do not. Sometimes Dave speaks English, the tangled sounds they tried to teach us in the refugee camp, and sometimes he uses my words. He's like a song always out of tune, missing notes. To help him, I try some English, but my mouth just wants to chew the words and spit them on the ground. We are like a cow and a goat, wanting to be friends, but wondering if it can ever be. All right, so this kid, Keck, came from Africa. This guy, Dave, is helping him kind of understand America. So now we're on page 8. This is questions. We drive past buildings, everywhere cars, everywhere dead trees. Who killed all the trees, I ask. They're not dead, Dave says. This is called winter, and it happens every year. In spring, their leaves will come back. You'll see. He turns to smile. His eyes are wise and calm, the eyes of a village elder. Your family will be happy to see you, Dave says. But he doesn't mean my truest family, my mother and father and brother. I don't answer. I reach into my pocket and feel the soft cloth I carry with me everywhere. Blue and yellow, torn at the edges, the size of my hand, soft as new grass after good rain. Dave asks, when did you last see your aunt and cousin? A long time ago, I say, before the camp. I can tell that Dave has many questions. I wonder if all America people will be so curious. My mouth is going to get very sore, stumbling on words all day long. We stop at a light, hung high in the air, red and round like a baby sun. How was the airplane trip? Dave asks in English. We're on the top of page 10. When I don't answer, he tries again, using my words. Did you like the flying boat? I liked it very much, I say. I'd like to fly such a boat one day myself. When Mama comes, we'll take a flying boat around the world. Dave turns to look at me. You know, Keck, he says, we aren't sure where your mother is. His voice has the soft sting of pity in it. We don't know if she's... Obviously, he's going to say alive. She's fine, I tell him, and I look out the window at the not dead trees. She will come, I say, and this time I use my words, my music. All right, now we're on page 11. So far, we've got this boy named Keck. He just came to America from Africa, and this man is helping him get to his aunt's house and kind of teaching him about America so far. So now we're on 11. What the heck? We drive down a long road with many fast cars. Still there are buildings, but sometimes not. I see a long fence made of old gray boards, and then I see the cow. Stop, I yell. I feel regret in my heart to use such a harsh sound with my new helping friend. Please stop, I say, gently this time. What? Dave asks. What's wrong? Did you not see her, the brave cow in the snow? Top of 12. Dave glances in the looking back glass. Cow? Oh yeah, that used to be a big farm. Lot of land around here's getting sold off now, but that farmer's hanging on. I don't understand his words, but I can hear that he doesn't love cattle as much as I do, and I feel sorry for him. I twist in my seat. The don't move belt across my chest pulls back. Oh, what the heck, Dave says. I have not yet learned the meaning of heck, but I can see that it's a fine and useful word because he turns the car around. All right, 13. You guys doing okay, I hope? Interrupt me if you're not. God with a wet nose. We park by the side of the fast car road. Walking through the snow is hard work, like wading across a river wild with rain. So they're going to go see this cow. The cow is near a fine, wide-armed, good-for-climbing tree. To say the truth of it, she is not the most beautiful of cows. Her belly sags, and her coat is scarred, and her face tells me she remembers sweeter days. My father would not have stood for such a weary old woman in his herd, and yet to see her here in this strange land makes my eyes glad. Top of 14. In my old home back in Africa, cattle mean life. They are our reason to rise with the sun, to move with the rains, to rest with the stars. They are the way we know our place in the world. So cattle are incredibly important in Keck's homeland in Africa. The cow looks past me. I can see that she's pouting, with only snow and dead grass to keep her company. I shake my head. A cow can be trouble with her slow, stubborn body, her belly ripe with milk, her pleading eyes that shine at you like river rocks in sun. An old woman comes out of the barn. She's carrying a bucket. 2 chickens trot behind her, scolding and fussing. The woman waves. Just say hello to the cow. Just saying hello to the cow, Dave calls. Let me know if she answers, the woman calls back, and returns to the barn. We should go, Dave says. Your aunt is expecting us. A little longer, I say. Please? I know cattle are important to your people, Dave says. Again, he tries to use my words. A man I helped to settle here taught me a saying from Africa. I bet you would like it. A cow is God with a wet nose. I laugh. We wait. The wind sneaks through my coat. My teeth shiver. I take off a glove and hold out my hand, and at last the cow comes to me. She moves, a harsh and mournful sound. It isn't the fault of the cow. She doesn't know another way to talk. She can't learn the way I am learning, word by slow, slow word. I stroke her cold, wet coat. And for a moment, I hold all I've lost and all I want right there in my hand. All right, so we'll keep trucking, and then we'll answer some questions. Page 17. Welcome to Minnesota. It's growing dark when I say goodbye to the cow, and we go back to the car to drive again. At last we park before a brown building taller than trees. Its window eyes weep yellow light. Under a street lamp, children throw white balls at the not dead trees. Snowballs, Dave explains. A smiling girl throws one of the balls at Dave's car. He shakes his head. Welcome to Minnesota, he says. We climb out of the car. The snowball girl's face is red, and her long brown hair is wet. Hi, she says. I'm Hannah. You the new kid? Top of 18. I'm not sure of the answer, so I make my shoulders go up and down. Catch, she says, and she throws a cold white ball to me. It falls apart in my hands. I follow Dave across the noisy snow. 2 times I slip and fall. 2 times I rise, pants wet, knees burning. Take it slow, buddy, Dave says. Tears trace my cheeks like tiny knives. I look away so Dave will not see my shame. How can I trust a place when even the ground plays tricks? So imagine like you've never seen snow before and you try to walk on it and you fall. That's what Keck is dealing with. Inside, we climb up many stairs. We walk down a long hall, passing door after door. Dave knocks on one of them, and behind it I hear the muffled voices of my past. Much time has come and gone, but still I know the worn gray voice of my mother's sister, Natal. I hear another voice, too, the sound of a young man, a strong man. The door opens, and my old life is waiting on the other side. We'll read a little more and then do some questions. Top of page 20. Family. I'm hugged and kissed, and there is much welcoming from my aunt. She's rounder than I remember, with a moon face to match, her black eyes set deep. My cousin Ganwar shakes my hand. I have learned about shaking hands. At the camp they taught us how. Be firm, but do not squeeze too hard. Still, when Ganwar grasps my hand, we are like 2 calves in the clouds, pretending we know how to fly. The man's voice belongs to Ganwar, and he has my father's height now. Though Ganwar is thin and reedy, where my father was sturdy with strength, his eyes are wary and smart, always taking the measure of a person. So he's arrived at his aunt's house, who already lives in America, and his cousin Ganwar also lives there. So this is who he's staying with. So Ganwar, the cousin, we're on the top of 21. 6 long scars line his forehead, the marks of manhood. I watched Ganwar and my brother receive in our village ceremony. How jealous I had been that day, too young for such an honor. So Ganwar, his cousin, he's also from Africa. He has some scars across his forehead. And this is like, in their culture, this means that you've turned into a man. You've become a man. So that's what he's got on his forehead, and Keck is noticing that. I try hard not to look at another scar, the place where Ganwar's left hand should be. So Ganwar not only has these scars on his head, but he is missing a hand. The place where Ganwar's left hand should be, round and bare and waiting like an ugly question no one can answer. The night Ganwar lost his hand was the night I lost my father and brother. The night of men in the sky with guns. The night the earth opened up like a black pit and swallowed my old life whole. My aunt holds my face in her hands, and I see that she's crying. I know her to be a woman of many sorrows, carved down to a sharp stone by her luckless life. She isn't like my mother, whose laughter is like bubbling water from a deep spring. I look into her eyes, and then my tears come hard and fast. Not for her, not for my cousin, but not even for myself. But because when I look there, I see my mother's eyes looking back at me. So we find out that Keck lost his family. He doesn't know where his mom is. His father and brother have died. We don't know how. And that was the same day that Ganwar, his cousin, lost his arm. So we'll find more out about that soon. Let's read for a little longer, and then we'll do questions. All right, 23. This is called Lessons. I'll let you get settled, Dave says, but first I'll give you some lessons. Your aunt and your cousin know these things, but you'll need to know them too. Number 1, he says, always lock your door. Ganwar shows Keck what a key looks like. In my old home, my real home, my father kept us safe. We had no need for locks. Number 2, he says, this is a light switch. He pushes a tiny stick on the wall and the room turns to night, then blinks awake. In my old home, my real home, top of 24, the sun gave us light and the stars watched us sleep. This thermostat, Dave says, helps keep you warm. He pretends to shiver to paint a picture for his words. In my old home, my real home, we were a family and our laughter kept us warm. We didn't need a magic switch on a wall. I nod to say yes, I understand, but I wonder if I will ever understand, even if Dave stands here pointing and talking forever. Page 25. Goodbyes. I'll be going now, Keck, Dave says, but I'll see you tomorrow. I smile to show my thinking. Remember that this will take time, he says. It isn't easy to make such a big change. Things are very different here. In the camp, I say, they called America heaven on earth. They say many things in the camps, Ganwar says. You'll see how wrong they are. Dave shakes his finger at Ganwar. You behaving lately, buddy? He asks with a smile. My aunt answers when Ganwar doesn't. He had another fight last week. Top of 26. Ganwar looks at the ceiling. At least I won. I'll talk to your counselor at school, Dave says. I wonder if from his sound if he has said these words before. Ganwar and I will go to school together? I ask with hope. No, Dave says. Ganwar is in 11th grade, and you will be in 5th. He pats my back. Keck, if you need anything, have your aunt get in touch with me. I'm always here to help. I will be okay, I say, using my best English words. Soon I will make snowballs. I make a big grin so that my new friend Dave will not worry. I wonder if he can tell it is a pretending smile. Keck, my aunt says, he's a good boy. He will try hard to make his new life work. I can hear her struggle to find the English words, just like I do. My aunt glances at Ganwar. You'll see, Dave. Keck finds sun when the sky is dark. Ah, says Dave, an optimist. I look away. I cannot find any sun today, I think. Dave shakes my hand, and when the door closes behind him, I'm surprised that I feel afraid, a little bit. Dave isn't like my father, not at all, but it's been good to have someone watching over me, even for just a while. It's been a long time since I've known that feeling, like a soft blanket on a night when the wind howls. All right, I'm going to just read till it's 12:50, and then we'll do some questions, and then if anybody wants me to read the rest to them, we can a different day. All right, so we'll read till 12:50. Father. He had many cattle, my father, in the respect of our village, but it was his voice that made him a rich man among men. His voice was deep, like a storm coming, but gentle, like the rain ending. My people are herders. We move with the seasons, with the wet and the dry, so that the cattle may be strong and well fed. We cannot carry much with us, and so our stories don't make their homes in heavy books. We hold our stories in our songs. Top of 30. No one knew more songs than my father, and no one sang them with a voice as clear and sure. He knew songs of the stars, of the wind, of love and betrayal, of war and regret. So he's talking about his father right now who has died, and his father loves to sing. Always the villagers would beg, just one more song, Dak, that's his name. Our ears long for one more story. At night, before we went to sleep, my father would make new songs for my brother Lual and me. He sang my favorite the night he was killed. I'm not going to sing, but this is the song. The crocodile snaps, still Keck swims. The feet bleed, still Keck dances. The calf vanishes, still Keck searches. The sandstorm blinds, still Keck laughs. My stubborn Keck, my willful son, if you tell me you can dance with the wind, if you tell me you can sleep with the lion, if you tell me you can harvest the stars, how can I doubt you, my son? Bed. We must feed you, my aunt speaks in my language, the right way, with the notes where they belong. Ganwar will show you the other rooms. There are more, I ask. How can that be? You have a kingdom here. A TV machine, a sitting place, a cooking fire? The smile on Ganwar's face is a surprise. Suddenly I remember him playing with my brother, wild boys chasing each other like lion and prey, searching out mischief in every corner of our village. Ganwar leads me to a little room. For bathing, he instructs. But watch out, the water comes fast and hot. I point to the magic water pot like the one on the flying boat. You don't go outside? He laughs. It would turn to yellow ice. I laugh too. Ganwar stares at me, although his eyes seem to know more than I will ever know. You laugh like your brother, he says. He is quiet. His grin is gone. Too bad I do not look like him, I say, and I am glad to see Ganwar's smile return. It means we will not talk of why I am here and Luau is not. Too bad for sure, Ganwar agrees. I have a silly face, to tell the truth of it. I have the eyelashes of a girl, as Luau and Ganwar liked to remind me. My ears look like they want to fly me away, and my smile takes up most of my face. My brother was the handsome one. Everywhere girls watched him with shy, smiling eyes. Another room is waiting. On the floor lie blankets and pillows like gentle dunes. I run my hands over covers softer than a new calf's coat. Just one mattress so far, says Ganwar. His voice tells me this is not a good thing. Dave says maybe he can find more soon. You and I will sleep in the other room. We'll take turns on the sofa. Sofa? I repeat. It's a long chair you can sleep on, Ganwar explains. You don't need to share, I say. I'll try not to get in the way. You know you are welcome here, Ganwar says, but I cannot tell if he means his words. It's a strange pain to be with those you belong to and feel you don't belong. Carefully I take a step onto the blanket cloud. I stumble, then stand, then jump and fall and jump some more. Ganwar shakes his head. You haven't changed, my cousin, he says. You're still a crazy little boy. I stop my jumping. I'm not a little boy, I think, not anymore, but I keep the words in my heart. Brother. My brother Luau was Ganwar's age and just as tall. Maybe that's why he tried always to tell me what to do. Have you lost your ears, my stubborn brother, he would say. You must listen to our father and mother. Soon you'll be a man, not a silly boy. I would sigh, I would laugh, and once I even slipped 2 snakes into his sleeping mat while he lay snoring. The whole village awoke to his screams. I know it was wrong to do, but they were harmless snakes, and when I saw Luau's face, I laughed until my eyes rained. Every day Luau scolded, and every day I thought, Luau, just be my brother. I don't need 2 fathers. I didn't know that too soon I would not have any. Still, he could peck at me like a sharp-beaked bird. Luau knew well how to make his little brother laugh. He would have known a soft bed was made for jumping. He would have growled at me for misbehaving. But then, when no one was looking, he would have jumped just as high. I would give all the beds and all the great world to feel the sharp thorn of Luau's scolding once again. TV machine. My aunt makes food on the cooking fire. We eat simply, with tastes and smells of my home, and we talk with the words and sounds I know sweet in my mouth. But the more home returns to me, the more I remember all I've lost. I feel the holes where my mother, my father, my brother should be. My uncle, my aunt's husband, and their other children too. 2 girls younger than Ganwar. Sometimes it seems to me a hole can be as real and solid as a boulder or a tree. Outside, snowflakes tap at the window like stubborn mosquitoes. I try out the word, snow, then shiver and shake just like Dave. My aunt lets a smile go free. I have to go to work now, she says. What do you mean, work? I want to know. Mama helps at a house for old people, Ganwar explains. His mouth is a line. It's not a good place. It's called a nursing home, says my aunt, and they pay me money so that I can buy things. It takes a lot of money to live here in America. But it's night, I say, and it's cold. My aunt touches my shoulder. You're a good boy, Keck. You are your mother's child. Mama will be glad to see you, I say. I hope she'll get here soon. My aunt looks at me with questions in her eyes. She glances at Ganwar. He looks away. Don't hope too hard, she says in a whispering voice, then puts on her coat and leaves. When she's gone, Ganwar and I watch the TV machine. I'd seen one at the airport and on the flying boat. But this machine has many more stories, more colors, more happy people, and mad people. People are dancing and singing and shooting and kissing. So many people that they still cannot fill the holes in the room. All right, we'll read the next 2 or 3, and then we'll be done. Night. This is page 43. The pillow, like a mound of grass under my head, is good comfort, and the blanket is warm as afternoon sun, but still I can't sleep. Ganwar lies without moving, but I know somehow he is not sleeping either. After a while, Ganwar sits up on his elbows. He's just a shadow to my eyes. What's that cloth you're holding? He asks. It's from the camp, I say. It's true enough. I don't want to say the whole truth. Are you glad that you're here, Ganwar? I ask. Top of 44. He breathes in and out, in and out. This is a good land, he says. There's great freedom here. And even when you travel far, the ghosts don't stay behind. They follow you. You come here to make a new life, but the old life is still haunting you. We don't say anything for a few minutes. Finally, Ganwar speaks. They're all gone, Keck. They're all dead. I want to hate Ganwar for his words, but I am too weary for anger. Already there are so many people to hate, too many. Not all, I finally whisper, not Mama. He sighs. Top of 45. It isn't good to fool yourself. I've learned that much. Hoping isn't foolish, I say. If I can make it all the way here, then anything can happen. He shakes his head. Crazy boy, Ganwar says. Hoping doesn't make a thing true. Remember when you were no taller than my knee and you thought you could talk to the cattle? They listened, I say. They just didn't answer. How about when you believed you could fly? Remember how you jumped from the top of the acacia tree? I still have the scar on my elbow, I say. And anyway, the flying part was fun. Only the landing was troublesome. Top of 46. You can't make yourself a bird, Keck. Some things will never be. A man does not give up, I say. A man knows when he's defeated, Ganwar replies. I wipe away a tear with the soft cloth in my hand. I don't answer. I am afraid of what the answer might be. All right, 2 quick pages and then you're done with your reading. Woo! Mama. We're on 47. I have my father's will, my mother's eyes, and I have my father's will, my brother's eyes, and my mother's light. She is like newborn sun, fresh with promise. The just beginning moments before the day fills like a bucket with good and bad, sweat and longing. Even her laughter has sun in it. Always when I think of her, I see a cloudless day blooming full. I feel warmth on my shoulders. I know hope's embrace. I am just a boy like any boy. I make trouble. I'm lazy. Top of 48. I kick at the world when I'm mad. I don't know why I have been so lucky to be so loved. Last part. Sleep story. So this is a dream. I am on the flying boat, and so is Dave, and Mama, and Father, and Luau. People from my village are there, and many cows, and a camel, and a gazelle. Airplane, Dave says. Try to say that, Keck. But when my mouth opens, the only things that come out are little white puffs, cloud after cloud. You must try harder, Luau says, and I give him my best scowl. He laughs, and then the round windows open, and guns are there, and hating words, and I am screaming, empty white clouds of fear. When at last it's quiet. Top of 50. The seats of Luau and my father and all the other men from my village are empty. They're gone, I tell my mama. They're dead, and she takes my hand. When we step outside, it isn't sky we see, but endless barren land dotted with dead trees. Mile after mile, day after day, tier after tier, we travel to a place of tents and women and children. Here in the camp, we are safe, she says. The men with guns will not come. My feet are blistered, and her dress of blue and yellow is stained with blood. And all around us, snow falls, and my eyes burn with the sight of it. Woohoo!